Hey up YouTube, welcome back to another video. We're already halfway through pretty much, because it's an old Northern teams in the championship. We are about halfway through the history of your club of Series 2. I know how time flies. Feels like ages since I've done a video, but it's only been Sunday because I pre-recorded it. Yeah, Luton Town, interesting history. I've always thought of them as a lower league club, but they have had success as well in the past as well. So let's get into it. Luton Town Football Club was formed on the 11th of April, 1885. Before this, there were many clubs in the town, the most prominent of which were Luton Wanderers and Luton Excelsior. Luton Excelsior. A Wanderers player, George Deacon, came up with the idea of a town club which would include all the best players in Luton. Wanderers secretary Herbert Spratley seized upon Deacon's idea and arranged a secret meeting on the 13th of January 1885 at the St Matthew's School rooms in Hightown. The Wanderers committee resolved to rename the club Luton Town, which was not well received by the wider community. The local newspapers referred to the club as Luton Town Late Wanderers. When George Deacon and John Charles Lomax then arranged a public meeting with the purpose of forming a Luton Town Football Club, Spratley protested, saying there was already a Luton Town club, and the atmosphere was tense when the meeting convened in the town hall on the 11th of April 1885. The meeting, attended by most football lovers in the town, heard about Spratley's secret January meeting and voted down his objections. The motion to form a Luton Town Football Club, put forward by G.H. Small and seconded by E.H. Lomax, was carried out. A club committee was elected by ballot, and the team colours were agreed to be pink and dark blue shirts and caps. That must be quite a weird colour scheme to be. They were initially based at Excelsior's Dallow Lane ground. Luton Town began making payments to certain individual players in 1890. The following year, Luton became the first club in the south of England to become fully professional. The club was a founder member of the Southern Football League in the 1894-95 season and finished up as runners-up in its first two seasons. They then left to help form the United League and came second in that league's inaugural season before joining the Football League, then mostly in the northern and central of England, for the 1897-98 season, concurrently moving to a new ground at Dunstable Road. The club continued to enter a team to the United League for two more seasons and won the title in 1897-98. Poor attendance, high wages, and high travel and accommodation costs resulted from Luton's distance from the northern heartlands of the Football League, crippled the club financially, and made it too expensive to compete in that league. A return to the Southern League was therefore arranged for the 1901 season. 8 years after arriving at Dunstable Road, Luton moved again, settling at their current ground, Kenilworth Road, in 1905. Captain and left winger Bob Hawkes became Luton's first international player when he was picked to play for England against Ireland on the 16th of February 1907. A poor 1911-12 season saw Luton relegated to the Southern League Second Division, which the club won promotion back from there 2 years later. After the First World War broke out, Luton took part in the London Combination during 1915-16, and afterwards filled each season with friendly matches. A key player of the period was Ernie Sims, who was a forward. Sims was invalidated back to England after being wounded on the Italian front, but recovered enough to regain his place in the Luton team and scored 40 goals during the 1916-17 season. The Luton side first played in the white and black colours, which has retained for much of its history during the 1920-21 season, when the club rejoined the Football League. The players had previously worn an assortment of colour combinations, most permanently the sky blue shirts with white shorts and navy socks. Such was the quality of Luton's team at this time, but despite playing in the third tier, a fixture between Ireland and England at Windsor Park on 22nd October 1921 saw 3 Luton players on the pitch of Louis Buckman and Alan Mathieson for Ireland, and the club's top goalscorer Sims for England. However, after Luton finished 4th in division, the squad was broken up as Sims, Buckman and Mathieson joined South Shields, Port Vale and Exeter City respectively. Luton stayed in the 3rd Division South until 1936-37, when the team finished top and won promotion to the 2nd Division. At that time, the 2nd tier of English football. During the promotion season, striker Joe Payne scored 55 goals in 39 games. During the previous season, he had scored 10 in one match against Bristol Rovers, which remains a Football League record today. During the early 1950s, one of Luton's greatest sides emerged under the manager of Dally Duncan. The team included Gordon Turner, who went on to become Luton's all-time top goal scorer, Bob Morton, who holds the record for the most club appearances and who I think is the best player of all time for Luton, and Sid Owen, an England international. During this period, Luton sides also featured 2 England international goalkeepers, Ron Bainham and Bernard Stretton, as well as Irish internationals Seamus Dunn, Tom Ahernay and George Cummins. This team reached the top flight for the first time in the 1955-56 season, after finishing the season in 2nd place behind Birmingham City on goal average. A few years of success followed, including an FA Cup Final appearance against Nottingham Forest in 1958-59. At the end of the season, Owen was voted FWA Footballer of the Year. However, the club was relegated the following season, and by 1964-65 was playing in the 4th tier. In yo-yo club fashion, Luton were to return, a team including Bruce Rioch, who I believe, did he play for Derby? I think he did. I can't remember. John Moore and Graham French won the 4th Division Championship in 1967-68 under the leadership of former player Alan Brown. 2 years later, Malcolm MacDonald's goals helped them to win another promotion, while comedian Eric Morecambe became the director of the club. Pretty certain he's from Morecambe and Wise. Yeah. Luton Town won promotion back to the 1st Division in 1973-74, but were relegated the following season by a solitary point. Former Luton player David Pleat was made a manager in 1978, and by 1982-83 the team was back in the top flight. The team which Pleat assembled at Kenilworth Road was notable at the time for the number of black players it included, during an era when many English squads were almost entirely white. Luton often fielded a mostly black team. Talented players such as Ricky Hill, Brian Stein, and Emeka Nawajobi, I don't know how you pronounce that, sorry, Emeka Nawajobi, I think it is, made key contributions to their club's success during this period, causing it to accrue a richer history of black stars than in any other country, in the words of the journalist Gavin Willisey. On the last day of the 1982-83 season, the club's first back in the top tier, it narrowly escaped relegation. Playing Manchester City at Main Road, Luton needed a win to stay up, while City could escape with a draw. A late winner by Yugoslavian substitute Radi Antic saved the club and team from being relegated and prompted Pleat to dance across the pitch, performing a jig of joy, an image that has become iconic with the club. The club achieved its highest ever league position of 7th under John Moore in 1986-87, and managed by Ray Harford, won the Football League Cup a year later with a 3-2 win over Arsenal. With 10 minutes left on the clock and Arsenal 2-1 ahead, a penalty save from standing goalkeeper Andy Dibble sparked a late Luton rally. Danny Wilson equalised before Brian Stein scored the winner with the last kick of the match. The club reached the League Cup Final once more in 1988-89, but lost 3-1 to Nottingham Forest. The club was relegated from the top division at the end of the 1991-92 season and sank to the third tier 4 years later. Luton stayed in the third tier or the second division until relegation at the end of the 2000 and 2001 season, under the management of Joe Kinnear, who had arrived halfway through the previous season. The team won promotion from the fourth tier at the first attempt. Controversial owner John Gurney unsettled the club, though, in 2003, terminating Kinnear's contract on his arrival in May. Gurney replaced Kinnear with Mike Newell before leaving Luton as the club entered administration. Newell's team finishes champions of a rebranded third tier Football League One in 2004-05. While Newell's place was taken first by Kevin Blackwell and later former player Mick Harford, the team was then relegated twice in a row, starting in 2006-07 and spent the latter part of the 2007-08 season in administration, thus incurring a 10-point deduction from that season's total. The club then had a total of 30 points, crikey, knocked from its 2008-09 record by the Football Association and the Football League for financial irregularities dating back several years. These deductions proved to be too large of an obstacle to overcome, but Luton came from behind in the final of the Football League trophy to win the competition for the first time. Relegation meant that the 2009-10 season saw Luton playing in the Conference Premier, a competition in which the club had never before participated. The club successfully contested the promotion playoffs 3 times in 4 seasons during their time as a non-league club, employing 5 different managers. In the 2012-13 FA Cup 4th round, Luton won their away tie against Premier League club Norwich City 1-0, and in doing so became the first non-league team to beat a side from England's top division since 1989. In the 2013-14 season, under the management of John Still, Luton won the Conference Premier title with 3 games to spare, and thereby secured a return to the Football League from the 2014-15 season. After reaching the League Two playoffs in 2016-17 season, when they were beaten 6-5 on aggregate by Blackpool in the semi-final, Luton were promoted back to League One the following season as runners-up. Luton achieved a second successive promotion in 2018-19 season after they won the League One title, marking the club's return to the Championship after a 12 years absence. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you have enjoyed it. That would be vastly appreciated. Not many things coming up. I was going to do the end of season review, but I found out that the Premier League games are actually kicking off at 4 o'clock on Sunday. So I've decided to collate a different video idea of what I instantly think of your Premier League team, the first one which comes into my head. But then I will make it the week after. And then I've got the history of Middlesbrough, I want to say, coming up after that. So thank you very much for watching, and it's goodbye for now.